Hundreds of thousands of people play Destiny 2 every day, but not everyone unlocks the true potential of their Guardian. This game allows you to take control of a space magic infused hero, a warrior of the Traveler's Light, and so many people spend time shooting hand cannons and shotguns instead of using their space magic. For today's build, we're going to push the space magic in the Hunter to its limits. Let's get started. There are a lot of exotic armor pieces in Destiny 2, and a lot of them seem lackluster until you pair them with the right subclasses, mods, and perks. The Shinobu's Vow takes a gimmicky grenade, the skip grenade, and enhances it, so I'm not surprised that I don't see many people using it. The Shinobu's exotic perk is called New Tricks. You gain an additional skip grenade charge, and grenade damage restores grenade energy. On its own, this exotic perk is fine, but it's underwhelming unless you're playing as the Way of the current Arcstrider subclass branch. This branch has abilities centered around cooldown reduction that get rocketed to new heights with the Shinobus. The passive Ebb and Flow causes arc ability hits to electrify an enemy. Hitting an electrified enemy disorients them and restores grenade, melee, and dodge energy. It also has an unlisted effect, arc ability kills restore ability energy. When used with Shinobu's Vow, you'll literally have access to unlimited abilities. Start an engagement with a skip grenade throw and a Tempest strike. Use Gambler's Dodge to reset your melee, then find more targets to kill. Every grenade hit and kill and every melee kill will supply you with more energy to keep this combat loop going endlessly, and it's truly fantastic to play the game this way. To push things a step farther, use a helmet with Ashes to Assets or Hands On for bonus super energy on grenade or melee kills respectively, and Bomber or Outreach on your boots for grenade or melee cooldown reduction whenever you activate your class ability. For my setup, I have Ashes to Assets on my helmet, Bomber on my boots, 3 Paragon mods for class ability cooldown reduction, 2 Ordnance mods for grenade cooldown reduction, and the final piece of the puzzle to help smooth things out, a primary weapon with Demolitionist. That trait reduces the cooldown of your grenades whenever you kill an enemy, and grenade throws reload your weapon. With all these things working together, we'll be playing a version of Destiny that feels completely different. Now let's get out into the field for some testing. Alright folks, for today's testing we are doing the Warden of Nothing Nightfall Strike. This one has a lot of large groups of enemies, but the combat ranges can be a bit difficult for us to use all of our melee abilities without dying, but we're going to try and work as best we can with what we've got. So let's get into the action and see how many grenades we can throw over the course of the video. If you really want to have a good time, try and count them. So the first real encounter is right here, and just to show off the Demolitionist perk, I'm not going to reload my gun. I'm going to use my grenade throw to do that for me. So we'll throw both the grenades, send in a melee. Another grenade charge was refunded to us before all of the enemies died, even before the skip grenades finished bouncing, so already we're seeing the potential of the build that we have. Now we're taking a lot of damage from that Minotaur in the back there and from that little goblin, so let's take them out. Had to pull back for a second, but we're doing okay, and our grenade is still available to us. We have a dodge so we can reset our melee, and it feels great. This is one of the most fun ways that I've found to play the Hunter, period. I happen to think that the Way of the Current is kind of the coolest subclass for the Hunter. You can disagree if you want, but you're wrong if you do. No, I'm kidding. But with the Shinobu's Vow, it takes things to a new level of cool and awesome. Just you feel truly like a master of the arc staff when you have all of these all of this cooldown reduction, because you literally fight more with your abilities than you do with your guns, or at the very least it's going to be an even 50-50 split of abilities and guns, and it feels fantastic because there are moments when it's going to be better for me to sit back and just gun down enemies, but boy oh boy, are there a hell of a lot of opportunities for me to just use abilities. So after I clear out this goblin, I'm going to throw 2 grenades in on this guy, and I probably shouldn't push up on him because he's really strong and he does a lot of damage. So this is a moment where I should fall back on my weaponry, right? But if I do decide to go in, I hit him with an ability and then I punch him, and that's going to disorient the Hydra, and he can't attack me while he's disoriented. So there are instances where, okay, it's better for me to use my guns here, but if I do make use of my abilities, if I do so intelligently, then I will get some big benefits from that. Alright, now let's try and kill this guy before he kills me. Break the shield, and now we can keep going. Gonna throw a long range skip grenade there. Hopefully it turns around and deals with the Vex. Yes, it did. Now, there are going to be moments when we don't have abilities ready, but because dodge has such a short cooldown, especially with Paragon mods equipped, there aren't going to be many times when we have to wait very long to get an ability back. So we factor in the Paragon mods, we use our Gambler's Dodge to refresh our melee ability. Melee ability kills are going to grant us ability energy. If it doesn't kill, it's going to electrify a target. Then we melee it, get ability energy back. Then we've got Demolitionist on our weapon. More energy, so much energy. There's so many ways for us to get back our cooldowns that the downtime is going to be very minimal no matter what. So let's get some long-range grenades going again. Should have broken that void shield before. You know what? We got to pop our super here because I'm kind of dying, which is totally fine. Unfortunately, I'm not going to have my super for the next section, which is really challenging, but with Ashes to Assets, we'll get it back relatively quickly. So far, so good, though. Let's hit that guy with the melee ability. Toss another grenade out. That was bad, but it's fine. So that grenade didn't kill the targets the way I wanted it to. So we'll have to use our special weapon a little bit to clear things out. Now this next area has a lot of damage going out, so I'm not... And I don't have any abilities, so I'm going to have to use my power weapon a little bit. Try not to die. Let's get out of here, actually. Try not to die. Can I survive for just a second? Okay. So let's go ahead and do that. Really? Oh my gosh, there's so many. Okay, we're gonna have to be a little bit smarter about this. Okay, we're back in the position that we were before, and this time we're gonna play things a bit smarter. I'm gonna make use of my power weapon to clear out these very, very large groups of enemies. Especially that Hydra down there. That's going to cause me a lot of grief. So let's stick it with some anarchy shots, and then we can throw some Shinobu sticky grenade, skip grenades down there to deal with the crowd. Now this part is going to get a little bit tricky because there's just so many enemies for us to deal with. We're going to have to take a bit more of a passive approach to things. That's the one downside to ability focused builds, is that sometimes you just have to sit back and play the game normally. But I do have a super now, so I can go ahead and use that to clear out the enemies. The arc shields are a little bit, the void shields are a little bit difficult to deal with for my arc super. But overall, we did a pretty good job of clearing things out. Now the boss is going to come out and start messing with us a little bit, but we've got skip grenades, so we can deal with him just fine. So let's throw another one. And he is going to teleport right next to me. And now I will stick him with a couple of anarchy shots and let the grenades do their job. And there we go, cleared the section. This next bit is another very difficult part of the Nightfall, so it's going to be harder for us to make use of our abilities at close range. We can't really get too wild and crazy, but we can still make use of them. The main thing that we're going to use in these more difficult areas of the Nightfall is our grenades. Sometimes it's just too risky to run in and use Tempest Strike because it does leave you vulnerable for a few seconds. It's got a rather lengthy animation, but the ability is so powerful that it's not a big deal to go through it. Jesus, can't hit a headshot. Let's dodge to get our melee back. And do some long-range grenade throwing. Oof, taking a lot of damage there. Ooh, let's stay in cover for just a second. Let our health come back. I do have kill clip on this fusion rifle, so I can use that to my advantage. Kill clip and feeding frenzy is a very powerful thing to have on a fusion rifle. And now finally I have my super, and I'm going to use it to clear out this stupid wanted enemy. is my least favorite part about this Nightfall. Okay, that was a little bit more difficult than it probably needed to be. The wanted enemy in this area is such a pain in the ass. That, coupled with all the void shielded enemies, just made things a little bit tricky. But we did it. We're moving on to the next area. Okay. Next area is also very difficult, but we got it. We've got plenty of abilities to use. We've got a skip grenade at the ready, and that's just going to facilitate our wombo combo. So let's get started. We'll chuck one out, hopefully get some nice tags with it. Dodge. Use our melee, throw another skip grenade, and I'm going to have to pull away just a bit because I am taking damage here. Okay, got a little bit hairy for a second there, but we recovered. Now I'm going to use the anarchy a little bit here to make this section easier. We're getting into some very difficult territory. We can shoot down the mines, or the grenades rather, and they act like sort of proximity mines while they're on the floor, and they start zapping enemies, kind of like a Tesla coil, while they're just sitting on the ground like that. Let's finish that guy off. Throw out a skip. All those hits are going to restore skip grenade energy, so we can throw out another one. A guy did get electrified in there, so we can punch him for even more energy. The explosion from the incinerator's fuel tank nearly killed me there, but we are alive, and things are all good. Okay, moving on to the next mine that we have to disarm. There's going to be a lot of enemies, so let's hit them with as many abilities as we can. Got rid of the shield with our abilities, and then we'll clean up the boss enemy with our super, and then we can just stand in the objective. Alright, coming into the boss room, we've got 2 skip grenades, we've got power ammo. It feels good, so we're just going to light this guy up. We're going to stick him with all 6 of those bad boys, and we'll throw the skip grenades just for fun. We'll punch him in the face, get the skip grenade back. It's just an endless cycle, but of course I don't want to get myself killed. Alright, and there we go. We played around a little bit by throwing grenades and punching the boss in the face a little bit, but in any case, we did get the clear, and I think I showed off pretty well that this build is fantastic. Shinobu's Vow with the Way of the Current subclass branch for the Arcstrider is insane. It turns you into an ad-clearing monster. It's really phenomenal. This is a build that I would honestly take to any content in the game, whether it's the Crucible, Strikes, Gambit, even the raids, right? You know, obviously you think to yourself, well, if I'm going into a raid and I'm playing the hunter, I'm probably going to want to use golden gun, and that is the standard option for hunters in raids. It's very powerful, golden gun or Orpheus rings, but there's a lot of value in just being able to have a good neutral game, clear out ads efficiently and quickly with the skip grenades and the Tempest strike, and then you've got your super as well should you need to use something more powerful to clear out larger enemies. It's a good old time, man. It's a good old time, and I definitely recommend experimenting with it, especially if you've got a group that's willing to let you experiment. So with all of that said, I'm going to wrap it up here by saying the name of the game is Destiny 2. The name of the channel is iBluairJgR. If you enjoyed this video and you'd like to support the channel more than you already do just by watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, you can head over to patreon.com/iBluairJgR to become a patron. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.